Give me a liar with a true gift of premonition, called to shift through a fiery past to prevent a world ending future. And this mystery thriller with elements of horror, queer representation, and fantasy will have you questioning tethers of reality. Are you ready?
Yeah, 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 yeah. The Books and Vogue podcast. Yeah, 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 yeah. Come get your favorite next book. Yeah, 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 yeah. The Books and Vogue podcast. Yeah, 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 yeah. With Catherine and Brad.
Welcome, book lovers, to the Books on Vogue podcast. This is your premier listening experience all about immersive reading and helping avid and reluctant readers alike imagine book characters like never before. I'm your host, Kat Trinidad. The format of the show is I introduce a book, share tips on how you can engage your senses as you read this title, because it's one thing to be a mood reader, but you get a little something extra from the story when you are set the mood reader. And finally, I will end the show with a reimagining of my favorite scene. Today, we will discuss techniques for getting into the novel Roar of the Lambs with none other than the author, Jamison Shea. Welcome, Jamison.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, good, good from over here. So please tell us about the book.
Yes, so Roar of the Lambs is set in my hometown of Buffalo, New York. And it is about a teen psychic. Her name is Winnie, and she does not have a positive experience being a psychic. People don't listen to her. She's actually a psychic. She can see the future, but nobody really cares what she has to say. And so she has gotten into a habit of lying a lot. And then one day she discovers this box, and when she touches it, she gets a premonition of the apocalypse. The world is ending. And so essentially, she is trying to figure out how to save this world that doesn't care what she has to say, that doesn't really listen to her. And she ends up teaming up with a genderqueer juvenile delinquent, a troublemaker, a person who's been determined to be a troublemaker. And so nobody really cares what they have to say either. So they really have that in common, even as they're approaching this from different directions.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you so much for that. Do you care to join me in a discussion of some tips for setting a reading mood?
Let's do it.
Well, okay, book lovers, I hope you have your writing utensils ready because class is in session.
Hear it, see it, smell it, sense it, taste it, touch it. Ah. Hear it, see it, smell it, sense it, taste it, touch it. Ah. Hear it, see it, smell it, sense it, taste it, touch it.
The Books and Vogue podcast.
So, Jameson, what's the vibe? How can we engage our spirit as we read this book?
So I was really inspired by Buffalo. I don't know if you've ever been there, but there are a lot of old buildings. It used to be like an industrial city, and it no longer really is. So there's a lot of old factories that are now just kind of abandoned. There's a lot of older buildings from back when Buffalo used to be a pretty big city. And so everything feels haunted, and like history is all around you, and you just never know. And so I really wanted to channel this vibe of like history woven through, just kind of haunted by your past, the past of your ancestors, and how everything is kind of always interconnected.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a
okay,
haunted
okay.
vibe.
Got it. Oh, I'm getting chills. Okay, okay. So, what's the sound or sounds of Roar the Lambs? What key notes in music or nature could set the tone as we read this novel?
Everything is very, for me, I usually work to music, but for this particular book, it was all nature sounds. And so I was listening to the sound of the lake lapping against rocks because Buffalo is on the coast of Lake Erie. And so you can walk along the lake. And so the sound of the water against the rocks, the sound of the wind, like wind on a windy day, soft tapping of rain, and then there's also a very like sinister skittering of a mouse across the floor of an abandoned building.
I love that. I love that. And I have to say it because it came to mind with the vibe being like huntings and then the sound being nature. Me and my
Yeah.
husband are always having this discussion when we moved up to Oakland was the creepiest sound in the world is the lack of birds singing.
Yes, that's
And
terrifying.
one thing that creeped us out about our neighborhood wasn't the birds, but we did not see squirrels. And that freaked me out because squirrels are
Yeah.
everywhere, right? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
and it's so terrifying, especially if you're used to birds and suddenly they all go quiet.
Yeah.
Like, where you go? What are you doing?
Yeah. And so to hear
Yeah.
you say like a mouse getting across the floor, anytime I hear an animal running, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Because if I didn't see it and it's running,
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out why. Like it's that same instinct if you see a black person running. Same thing.
What
With animals, I'm
direction are
like,
you going in? I'm following. Let's
because
go.
the animals know. The animals know.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
exactly.
Back on track. Back on track. So do share the aesthetics. This can be any
Mhm.
visuals aside from the book, such as lighting.
Okay. I would say an overcast day. So it's a little dark and cloudy, but a storm hasn't approached yet, but you know it's coming. You can smell the rain, but it hasn't started falling yet. Choppy water, um, a room full of incense. So it's kind of cloud, like foggy room that's kind of darkly lit. So you're getting ready for the storm.
Okay, okay. So what's the flavor? Any food or drink companions for this title?
Yes. So Winnie's favorite drink in the book is my favorite drink when I was in Buffalo. There's a particular cafe that makes a drink called a Cinco shake, and it's basically just iced coffee, but with a lot of sugar. So it is espresso and vanilla ice cream, and also white chocolate and caramel sauce drizzled in. And then it's all blend with ice. So that's like a frappuccino. But why did you need to put white chocolate?
That sounds delicious. What was the name again? Can you spell that for me? I need to look that up.
It's Cinco Shake, Cinco, and
Okay,
space
so like
shake.
like Cinco, like
Yeah.
five. Okay.
Yep.
Oh
Why? I
yeah.
don't know. But yeah,
Hmm.
I used to get one of those every single day after school.
Okay. I have to check it out. It sounds delicious. Okay. So what's the aroma? Are there any smells to transport us into the pages?
Yes. There's, I have two. First is black opium incense. So it is rich, it's herbal, it's lightly floral, not too floral, but like it's lightly a little bit of jasmine. And then the second scent is because a lot of this has to do with empty, abandoned homes. Um, the smell of an recently extinguished fire. So also smoky, but a little bit like sour, like acrid, with a hint of mildew.
Hmm. Okay.
I have to make it slightly unsettling, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Like I get it. It's like it brings to mind the musty smell of a house when you've been on vacation for a while and you come back,
Yes.
you're like, wait a minute, wait a minute. It didn't
Yeah,
smell like this when I left.
exactly that. Precisely.
Okay. Okay, okay. So how can we get more of the feels? How can we engage our sense of touch while reading this novel?
I would say touching a wooden floor. You really have to feel like the cold of the wood. It's very hard and like inanimate, I guess you could say, but at the same time, snuggling a pet. So snuggling a pet on the floor.
Okay, okay. I'm looking at
I
my
don't know.
pup like I hope she's ready for duty.
Yeah.
She's gonna be putting a double shift today when I'm reading.
Yep.
Okay, okay. Well, there you go, book lovers. These are your recommended supplies as you read this book. If you're able, pause and get some of these if available, or simply imagine because it's time for my favorite scene. Disclaimer, please note that exact words, names, locations, and or scenarios mentioned in this reimagined reenactment may differ from the actual book. Sharing my favorite scenes, I reenacted though. Imagining the fiction world that I've been reading of. Going from all the things, I just gave you a list. Come experience all the senses as protagonists. And it don't get more real than this. Immersive read with books and book and live vicariously. Blackmail, starring Jamison Shea as the narrator and Winnie, and Kat Trinidad as Cyrus.
It hadn't occurred to Winnie that others might find Cyrus attractive, that his thick hair and strong brow and money might be appealing. All she was willing to see was the entitled bastard who broke her arm, the kind of person who could get away with it but still show up at her school to rub it in. As if he could sense her glaring, Cyrus glanced up and locked on Winnie, pulled his sunglasses away, and waved at her. The skin beneath her cast itched worse as Winnie marched forward and stepped into the street, though the sensation was quickly replaced by annoyance. Rage. Ick, slithering down her spine. She didn't know what Cyrus was doing here, or how he found her, but she was getting sick of seeing his pretty, well-carved face. First in Apollo's future, hovering over them like a dark cloud, like a predator sinking its claws into their shoulder, and then at the house with the audacity to accuse her of being a thief. There was something so smug about the way he carried himself despite this fact, how he could just show up like he owned the whole damn world. With the way he had acted, he probably wanted the carved box. And if that was the case, he couldn't have it. Even if Winnie didn't want it, even if it turned out to be worthless, she wouldn't give it to him on principle. What are you doing here? Winnie stopped just far enough away so that he couldn't lunge for her again and crossed her arms.
If you're stalking me, I will scream, stranger danger, and tell the soccer moms that you're offering me drugs.
She should have, regardless, just to make him squirm. He turned sheepish when he glimpsed the pink cast sticking out of her sleeve, a stark blush of scarlet flooding his cheeks. His shoulders crawled up to his ears as he tossed up his hands.
Relax. I came to apologize.
Winnie arched a brow, but didn't move. Is that so? Bullshit.
Yeah, I shouldn't have grabbed you.
Cyrus replied quickly, rubbing his chin. Contrition didn't look good on him, though she found she liked it better.
I shouldn't have put my hands on you, and I wasn't thinking.
She continued to watch him and blink, wondering how far she could press this guy and of his guilt if she said nothing. He had yet to actually utter the words, "I'm sorry," and even so, she had no use for explanations or false apologies. She couldn't spend that, and it didn't glue her arm back together either.
I didn't know where you went to get treated, so I came here.
You tracked down where I went to school, Winnie stated slowly, considering his words. To explain yourself, and that's not supposed to be creepy? Cyrus scoffed and pointed towards her blazer, to the coat of arms embroidered on the breast pocket.
I went here for primary school, smartass. I recognize the crest. Next time you break into someone's house, maybe don't wear your uniform.
I wasn't breaking! She ground her teeth and took a deep breath. This is a shit apology, by the way. You're only here because you want to make sure I won't tell anybody. His eyes sharpened like daggers on her, and Winnie had to steel herself against the urge to step back. As he loomed over her, her bones suddenly felt bird-thin, far more breakable than they did last week. But she went to private school. She was an expert at reading rich people, especially white yacht boys, far better than they could read her. Rather than tremble, she adjusted her nice Kavanaugh coat, the collar of her white shirt underneath, and straightened. She put her cast on display. I am a straight-A student at the Kavanaugh School, a senior destined for Cambridge, and just how do you think people will react if I reveal that a strange older man came into my house and grabbed me while I was working on a history assignment and then followed me to school? Though he wasn't that much older, just barely into his 20s, Cyrus stiffened. He blanched.
Look, I'm sorry, really.
Apologies don't cover room and board, Winnie replied sweetly, pointedly, letting her eyes go round. However, you can always buy my silence. She enjoyed the look of shock on his face then. He didn't expect her to strike, to look so soft but also be a serpent with fast fangs so sharp. But Winnie was good at what she did. When it came to lying, she considered herself the very best. So he spent a long time studying her, a glint in his eyes as he recognized her game, as he saw her in a new light, and then he nodded and shoved a hand into his pocket. Even his wallet was nice, embossed with his initials, probably crafted from Italian leather.
Clever. Very clever of you.
I did say I was destined for Cambridge. Winnie snatched the money from his hand and slipped it quickly into her breast pocket. Any longer, and someone would think it was actually a drug deal. Thank you, Cyrus, for being so reasonable. Apology accepted.
Book lovers, if you have enjoyed this sneak peek, you can get more by reading the whole book, Roar of the Lambs by Jamison Shea. It's available at your local library and everywhere books are sold. And if it's not, request it, because you deserve to read all the books that interest you. And if you've already read Roar of the Lambs or in the middle of reading it, let me know in the comments what you like to do to set the mood for reading, because I would love to hear from you. So please leave your feedback. If you haven't already heard, we are now part of the Live Podcast Network. And you can support the show by downloading and becoming a member of the Alive Podcast Network app. You will experience unlimited access to Black hosted content and will be able to keep bringing you amazing content week after week. Check it out and thank me later. Jamison, is there anything else you would like to share with the listeners?
Yes, so I didn't mention it earlier, but Roar of the Lambs also features some secret messages that are hidden in the book. So if you like decoding mysteries, I recommend the book, and there's a special little interactive decoder tool on my website to help you if you struggle. So you can go to jamisonshea.com and go to Roar of the Lambs. You'll find a very cool puzzle on the website and in the book.
Okay. Thank you so much. That sounds really exciting. I love a good mystery book, like with there's actually like coding and stuff. Freaking out. Okay. Thank you again, Jamison, for joining us today.
And thank you for having me and listening.
And thank you, book lovers, for listening with peace, much love, and joy. Happy reading.
The Books and Vogue Podcast. Come get your favorite next book. The Books and Vogue Podcast. With Catching That. Subscribe, listen, check out recommendations, and happy reading.